If you feel like something has just ended, but yet nothing new has begun yet, this video is for you. Hey, I'm Jamie, and I'm the heart and mind behind Liminal Travel. And on this channel, we teach you how to travel through life with more meaning and purpose. Today, we're going to talk about liminality and what it means and why it's important and why you should give two F's about learning about it. So welcome. If you are a note taker, get a pen and paper, jot some things down. If you're not, that's okay too. So the first thing I want to talk about is liminality. So how I define it here at Liminal Travel is that space between being and becoming. It's this weird space between this old identity, old career, old relationship, old something that's no longer fitting, but something new hasn't begun yet. And it feels kind of disorienting. If you've ever been in a liminal space, and if you're alive, I'm sure you have, it kind of feels odd and uncomfortable and some uncertainty, and just kind of, you don't know what to do with your hands. If I'm taking a page out of Ricky Bobby's book, like, we don't know what to do with your hands. It's kind of like when this is what it feels like. Have you ever gone to the back of your drawer and found the old pair of jeans that you wore 10 years ago, but you can't get rid of them yet because they're really cute, and you go to put them on, they don't quite fit anymore, but you really want them to fit, and you try to squeeze your butt in them, but then when you try to button them, they just don't go? This is what happens to identities and situations in our life. We really want them to fit. We really don't want to get new jeans because we love those old jeans, or at least we know those old jeans and we're comfortable with those old jeans, but they don't fit anymore. And so you don't want to go out and buy a new pair of jeans because you don't know what kind of jeans you want yet. This is liminality, the space between. This happens when we get fired, when we end a relationship, when we hit a certain point in our life, often the quarter life, midlife, and end stage of our life crisis, they call it, right? The midlife crisis. It's really a transition point. And if you're in perimenopause, hello, I'm hot. That's the ultimate liminal space. And it's if you're in perimenopause, hi, me too. It's uncomfortable. They call it the zone of chaos. The zone of chaos. That's another subtitle for liminality, the zone of chaos. Nothing makes sense anymore. The hormones are out of whack. Things you used to put up with, you no longer want to put up with. You just have lost tolerance for a lot of things. That's a liminal space, and it's so freaking hard, but yet this is the magic space because we have the opportunity to let old things go and let new things be born. But as we all know, the death process is uncomfortable. And in this liminal space, in order for us to become something new, something has to die. And if any of you have been through a literal death, a death of an animal, death of a loved one, it is freaking gut-wrenching and hard, and some beautiful parts of it too, but this on a smaller scale, but it can still feel really big. If you've ever been fired before, if you've ever been divorced, hell, on the other end of it, before you get married, you know? Think about this. Most people, before they get married, they have a bachelor and bachelorette party. What do before they get married? They sow their wild oats, they get drunk, they lean into the sex stuff. It's like they're mourning that younger self, right? The freedom of being single again. But oftentimes when you get married, then you still haven't fully grieved that old part. So those old parts of you still show up in the marriage. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother thing. All right, so another thing that can look like, feel like a liminal space is a spiritual awakening. If you've ever done any kind of spiritual practices that wake you up, especially if they wake you up too quickly, you can get stuck in that liminal space, because when you have a spiritual awakening, you start to see the whole world different. You see your friendships different. You see meaning and purpose is shifted. Everything is disoriented. And I think that's the next thing I want to talk about. When we're in a liminal space, our nervous system does not like it because of the uncertainty. Our ego, our identity, our way of interpreting and going into the world, we want certainty because then we feel safe. This is a safety thing. A liminal space is not safe because we don't know. It's the unknown. It's the dark night of the soul. It's walking at midnight. You know, it's those moments where we can't see and our nervous system freaks the fuck out. So practice number one, if you're in your liminal space, you've got to regulate your nervous system. There's a lot of talk about this on social media, which I'm so grateful and so glad, because 20 years ago, no one was talking about this shit. When I found yoga 20 years ago, my friend said, come do yoga because you're having anxiety. And you know what? It helped. So my practice tip number one for regulating your nervous system is yoga. And I know if you're on the other end of this watching going, I don't like yoga, I gotta tell you, yoga can get a really bad rap. Yoga can look like this one thing in the West, but yoga is a vast system for the mind, body, and spirit. There are many different ways to practice and engage with yoga, but they all have the sole purpose of regulating the nervous system so you can connect with something greater. So practice number one, try some yoga. I'm also a yoga teacher, so if you want to come see me, I'll help you out. Also too, so a liminal space can be an initiatory space. It's initiation into what's next, right? Think about when a shaman gets picked by their community to lead them. They often have to go through these initiation rites. You know, there's different ways of doing that. But when you find yourself in this, it's a spot for initiation for what's next. Also, you want to think about it more in the nature realm. It's like a cocoon, right? It's that before the metamorphosis. It's that gooey part of when the caterpillar goes into the cocoon, gets all gooey, breaks down, and then it emerges a beautiful butterfly. Liminality is the goo. It's also a doorway into what's next. Have you ever watched that game show back in the day, Pick a Door, like door 1, 2, or 3, and you're like, oh, I really hope I pick the right door, because if you pick the wrong door, you get some like shitty gift. If you pick the good one, you get like this amazing trip to Paris. That's kind of like what liminal spaces are. It's trying to figure out what door is next. That's why it's so important. Tip number 2. Do not make rash decisions when you find yourself in a liminal space. Do not try to jump into something new. Do not try to force things to happen. Don't try to keep moving. You gotta slow down and sit in it. You gotta sit in the goo. You have to surrender to the goo, just basically melting away all of the old stuff that's no longer serving you. That's uncomfortable, hence why we need nervous system regulation. Number 2, we need to slow down and be in it. Number 3, you need community, especially someone who has been through it before or is going through it simultaneously, someone to help guide you through it. Hi, that's where I come in. I'm Jamie, and I'm a liminal guide. I'm here to help guide you through these liminal spaces, and the way we do that here is multi-pronged approach, many different ways. I'm not going to go all the way into that, but if not me, someone who has been through it before, who can help you and not try to rush you through the process. If you've ever been through a grief process, people are really uncomfortable. If you're not better in a month or two, they're looking at their watch going, aren't you healed yet? Grief, for any of you who've been through it, it does not just go away. It comes in waves. Some days are good, some days are bad. It's a process, often lifelong, but specifically in this liminal space, we have to ride those waves. We will eventually come out of it and come through, but we got to do it in our own time, our own pace. So find people who get it and surround yourself with those people. If people are like, hey, you got to hurry up, we got shit to do and we don't have time for your grief, those aren't your people. Those are not your people. All right, what else do I want to talk about? So seasonal wise, a liminal space is a lot like winter, right? Everything's dead. It's kind of dark. It's cold. It's dry. It can be beautiful. The starkness of it can be beautiful. When you rip away all of the excess stuff, there is a stark beauty there, but it can be disarming because we're not used to that. What have I not said that I want to say? Ooh, this is important. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about is stop demanding or expecting to have clear answers. I've kind of already touched on this. Don't expect it to be like on a billboard saying, this is what you're going to do next, and this is what's going to happen, and everything's going to be great. It's not like that. It's kind of like finding little clues along the way. Have you ever thought about a friend and then you get a phone call from the friend, right? That's the synchronicity. Have you ever been thinking about this song and then you hear it on the radio? Synchronicity. when we start to pay attention to these synchronicities, often Spirit speaks through those aha moments or those moments that connect in some way. So it's not usually loud. It can be, but it's often little bits and pieces along the way, like breadcrumbs, right? Following the breadcrumbs until you get to the door. And then once you get to the door, then you have to choose to open it or not. Some of the other practices you can do that I've talked about that I have not talked about yet. I talked about slowing down. I talked about community and support. 3 other things I want you to think about when you're in a liminal space. Journaling. You don't have to have specific prompts or answer certain questions, but just free writing, getting out whatever's taken up space here, because it's very disorienting to be in a liminal space. You have to get it out to make sense of it often because it's jumbled up. When I'm in a spot like this, when I sit down for meditation, it just feels like it's too much going on. But the act of writing with a pen to paper forces you to slow down so you can make sense of what's going on in here. And when you get it out, then you can go back and read it, and it often makes more sense then. So journaling. The next thing is ritual. Ritual can be over the top, grand, elaborate, beautiful, or it can be really simple. It can be sitting down, lighting a candle, taking a deep breath and going, Spirit, please guide me for the next right thing to do. It can be super simple. It can be something that marks the passage of time. So maybe you do it every morning at 7 a.m., get your coffee or tea, sit down, light the candle, take a deep breath, and ask for guidance for the day. Some people call it prayer, some people call it, mantra. There's lots of different names for it, but we're all doing the same thing. We're getting still to connect with something greater and creating external light switches, if you will. When we start to light that candle each time, it's telling our brain it's time to get still, it's time to get quiet and listen. So rituals are a way of activating the response that we're looking for in our mind, body, and spirit. All right, last practice I want you to think about is when you are in a liminal space, it can feel like you're stuck in quicksand. It can be very quicksand feeling or very suffocating. And when you don't know what's next, it can be a lot for the body just to sit with that. So while we're sitting with the feelings, it's really good to get the body moving forward, one step in front of the other. So that can be just simply going for a walk. It can be, I wouldn't say a treadmill, but you can. If that's where you're at, treadmill's great. At least you're moving forward. Nature has a way of regulating the nervous system, just being out in nature and breathing that fresh air. Also, the side to side eye movement, right? It's going to start to help you process what you're feeling. Therapy's good for that too. EMDR, go see my friend Cynthia. That's going to help you to process as you're walking forward and you're breathing the good air. And oftentimes after a good walk, things will be a lot clearer. And at the very least, your nervous system has gone down a few notches so you can actually be calm, clear, cool, and collected. But moving forward, and also in your life, if you feel like you're stuck and can't do anything, do something small. Like I know when I'm feeling out of control and I don't know what to do next, I clean my bathroom. And while that seems really simple and kind of silly, it's helpful just to do something. It gives you some feeling of control in your life. So whatever that, maybe you don't want to clean your bathroom. Maybe you want to create a drawing. You can create something. The act of getting it up and out and keep moving is the key to move through a liminal space. Not to act rashly, not to numb it, not to pretend it's not happening. Avoidance is the last thing you want to do. You want to dive into the cocoon, become the goo, and then emerge like the butterfly. And the saying that comes to mind is not in my time, but thy time, or something like that. All right, so if you have your journal and pen with you, I'd like for you to pause at this moment and jot down any response you have to these questions. So question number 1, are you ready? If not, push pause, come back. First question is, what is ending in my life? What is ending in my life? Don't think too hard. And as you're writing, stay connected to your belly and your breath. Let these answers be quick. If you need more time, push pause. All right, question number 2. What hasn't begun yet? What hasn't begun yet? So something's ending. What hasn't begun yet? And as you're writing, don't get too caught up in how it should sound. Just kind of let it flow. All right, question 3. What am I trying to rush? Oh, I love to try to rush things. I want to be in control, so I want to rush it. So what are you trying to rush right now? Good. And then the final question is number 4. Number 4. That's 3. This is 4. Who am I without my old identity? So if you're letting go of this thing, whatever this thing is, who are you without that thing? Oh, that's so juicy. And if you want to review these questions with me, if you need a little break to kind of process this, I offer a free 15-minute consultation via the phone or Zoom or in person. I am here for you. You don't have to pay me anything. If you're strapped for cash, 15 minutes, let's go. If you'd like to go deeper into working in your liminal space, please reach out to me. I have many different modalities. Please check out my website, liminaltravel.co, not com, C-O, not C-O-M. And check out what I have to offer. I use outer travel, inner travel, and ritual to help you move through these liminal spaces. I hope that this has been helpful in some way, shape, or form. I hope to see you soon. I'll be dropping these videos every Thursday at 3:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Jamie. I love y'all.